Most people think the scariest thing about Instagram is fake accounts or weird DMs, but the truth is, some encounters are so disturbing, so unexplainable, so real, that they follow you long after you delete the app. And this story begins with a message, one simple message, that turned someone's life into a waking nightmare. It all started on a quiet Sunday night. A girl named Sarah, 19 years old, was lying in bed scrolling through Instagram like she always did. The screen brightness was low, her room was dark, and the only sound was the soft hum of her ceiling fan. She wasn't expecting anything unusual. No notifications, no new followers, nothing strange. But at 2:14 a.m., her phone buzzed. A new message request. The username was strange at @YourWindowFriend. She frowned. It didn't look like a bot account. No numbers, no symbols, no obvious signs of spam. Just a blank profile picture and a name that immediately gave her a cold feeling in her stomach. Curious, she opened it. The message was just one sentence. "You look peaceful when you sleep." Sarah froze. Her first thought was that it had to be a prank. Maybe someone from school, maybe her cousin messing with her. But the message kept echoing in her head. "You look peaceful when you sleep." How would anyone know what she looked like when she was sleeping? She scrolled down to check the profile again. 0 posts, 0 followers, 0 following. The account was created today. She locked her phone and exhaled, trying not to let her imagination get out of control. It was probably random, probably a joke, but curiosity always wins. She reopened the message and typed, "Who is this?" No response. Fine, whatever. She put her phone aside and tried to sleep. At exactly 2:29 a.m., another message arrived. This time it wasn't text. It was a photo. Her hands shook as she tapped it open. It was a picture of her bedroom, taken from outside the window. The angle, the reflection, it was crystal clear. The image was taken minutes ago. She sat up immediately, heart racing. Her room was still dark, but now it felt suffocating. She slowly turned her head toward the window. The curtains were closed, but she could see the faint, shifting silhouette of a figure standing right outside. Her breathing became shallow. Another message arrived. "Don't get up." Her fingers trembled as she grabbed her phone, about to call someone, anyone, until another message popped up instantly. "If you scream, I'll come in." Sarah covered her mouth. Her body was shaking uncontrollably now. Her bedroom suddenly felt too quiet, too exposed, like the darkness outside was alive and watching her. What she didn't know was that this encounter was only the beginning of a much darker truth. A truth that would soon reveal who or what was messaging her. And Instagram was merely the doorway. Sarah's heart hammered in her chest as she stared at the last message. "If you scream, I'll come in." For a moment, she couldn't move. Her body felt like it was locked in place, frozen between terror and disbelief. She forced herself to breathe slowly, silently. Every inhale felt like a gamble. Every exhale felt too loud. She leaned forward, eyes fixed on the thin line of moonlight glowing behind her curtains. The silhouette was still there. No movement, just a tall, still figure pressed against the glass. Her first instinct was to grab her phone and call 911. But the fear of him hearing even a button click made her hand shake too violently. Instead, she slowly slid off her bed, moving inch by inch until her feet touched the cold floor. She crouched down low, crawling toward the side of the bed where her body was hidden from the window's view. Her phone vibrated again. She felt the vibration against the wooden floor, sliding toward her like the sound of something creeping nearer. She didn't want to look, didn't want to see what he sent this time. But she had to. She picked up the phone, careful not to make a sound. New message at @YourWindowFriend. 2:34 a.m. She opened it. It was another photo. This time, a picture of her, taken just seconds ago. It showed her crawling on the floor. The angle was from outside the window. Sarah's hand instantly flew to her mouth to keep from screaming. Her lungs tightened. Her vision flickered. How could he be that close? How could he see her so clearly in the dark? She slowly backed away from the window, inching toward the hallway door. Her fingers closed around the doorknob. She twisted it as silently as she could. Just then, another message came through. This one wasn't a picture. It was a voice message, just 8 seconds long. Her thumb hovered over the play button, trembling. Part of her wanted to delete it without listening. Part of her needed to know what he said. Slowly, she pressed play. At first, there was only wind. Soft, cold wind blowing against a microphone. Then a faint breathing. Slow, deep, too close. And then a whisper. A low, raspy voice. "Where are you going?" Her entire body jolted. She dropped the phone, and it hit the carpet with a soft thud. She clutched her chest, trying to hold herself together. He couldn't know she was moving. He couldn't. Another message arrived instantly. "Don't run." That was it. She couldn't stay here anymore. She gripped the doorknob, twisted it quickly, and pulled the door open just enough to slip through. The hallway was dark, empty. The air felt heavier here, like something was waiting in the shadows. She closed the door behind her and bolted toward her parents' room on the far end of the hallway. But before she reached it, her phone buzzed again. She didn't want to answer, didn't even want to look. But curiosity, fear, instinct forced her to check it. Another photo. This one made her knees buckle. It was the hallway, the same hallway she was running through, but taken from inside the house. From behind her, she spun around instantly, heart stopping. No one, just darkness. Every door closed, every corner silent. But the picture was proof. He wasn't at the window anymore. He was inside. Sarah gasped, stumbling backwards in panic. Her voice finally broke free, and she screamed, "Mom! Dad! There's someone in the house!" She ran for their door, pounding on it with both fists. No answer. She twisted the doorknob. Unlocked. She pushed it open. The room was empty, the bed undisturbed. No signs of struggle. Her stomach dropped. They weren't here. Her breathing grew shallow. Her eyes darted across the room. Where did they go? Did something? Her phone buzzed again. With shaking hands, she lifted it. A new message. This one wasn't a picture. It was a sentence. "I told you not to run." Sarah's vision blurred with tears. Her knees weakened. Her throat closed. She staggered backwards, bumping into the wall, sliding down until she was sitting on the floor. Her mind raced. What does he want? Who is he? How did he get inside? She felt like the walls were closing in, like the air around her was turning into ice. And then her phone buzzed again. Another message. A single picture that nearly stopped her heart. Her parents' car, missing from the driveway, and in its place, a man standing in the middle of the empty space. Face hidden, body tall, holding something in his hand. Took a moment for her to understand what she was seeing. It was her mother's phone, the one she left charging on the kitchen table before bed. He wasn't inside the house. He had taken something outside, and then her mind snapped into survival mode. She needed to run, now, before he came back. She stood up slowly, knees trembling, wiping tears off her cheeks. She took a deep breath, gripping her phone like a weapon. This wasn't random. This wasn't an accident. He knew her. He was watching her. And he wasn't done yet. She didn't know it yet, but the truth behind his messages was darker and closer than anything she could imagine. And Instagram was only the beginning of how he found her. Sarah's hands trembled so violently she could barely grip her phone. The image of the stranger standing in her driveway, holding her mother's phone, kept replaying in her head like a nightmare she couldn't wake up from. Her heart slammed against her ribs as she backed away from the bedroom door. Every shadow in the hall seemed alive. Every corner felt like it was hiding someone. She forced her breathing to stay quiet, shallow, controlled, because even the sound of her own panic felt too loud. She had to think. Was he outside? Was he coming back inside? Had he already been inside? How did he get her mother's phone? Why were her parents' car and both of them gone? None of it added up. None of it felt real. But the fear was real. The danger was real. and he knew exactly where she was. Her phone buzzed again. A new message from @YourWindowFriend. She didn't want to look. She didn't want to see any more photos. But she forced herself to unlock her screen. Another text. Come downstairs. Sarah felt her breath catch in her throat. No, no, no. She punched in 911 on her phone, ready to press call. But then she froze. What if he was waiting downstairs? What if the moment she opened her mouth and spoke, he'd hear her? She backed into her parents' bedroom again, shutting the door silently behind her and locking it. Her hands shook so much the metal lock rattled loudly. She winced. Did he hear that? Her phone buzzed again. Another message. She opened it with dread. It was a picture of her parents' bedroom door, taken from the hallway, taken just seconds ago. Sarah's blood turned cold. She clapped her hands over her mouth to muffle the scream clawing its way up her throat. He was here. He was inside the house. And he was inches away. Her heart thudded so loudly she was terrified he could hear it through the door. She backed up, breath sharp and uneven, until her calf hit the edge of her parents' bed. She sank down onto it, her mind spinning out of control. She needed to hide. She needed to get out. She needed to do something, anything. Her thoughts were cut off by a sound that made every hair on her body stand up. Soft footsteps, just beyond the door. Slow, calm, measured. He wasn't rushing. He wasn't panicking. He was moving like he knew she had nowhere to go. The steps stopped directly in front of the door. Silence. Then, a gentle tap. A knuckle against wood. Tap, tap, tap. He wasn't trying to break in. He was knocking, as if asking permission. Sarah pressed both hands against her mouth as tears streamed down her face. She held her breath so tightly that spots formed in her vision. Another knock. This time, firmer. Her phone buzzed again. She squeezed her eyes shut, terrified to open it, terrified not to. Finally, she looked. A new message. Why did you lock the door? Her lungs collapsed. She leaned forward, nearly dropping the phone. He could hear everything. He was right there, listening, waiting. Another message came instantly, as if he were reading her thoughts in real time. Open it. She shook her head, though no one could see her. Her mind screamed no, no, no. She tightened her grip on the phone like it was the only thing keeping her alive. She backed away from the door slowly, keeping her eyes glued to the bottom gap, the tiny slit of light where shadows passed. Then, a shadow appeared. He was standing so close she could see the outline of his shoes. Her heart beat so hard she thought she would faint. Suddenly, the doorknob twitched.
Just a small movement. Just a test. Then another. Twist. Rattle. He was trying to open it. Please. Please stop. She whispered so quietly she couldn't hear herself. The rattling grew louder, stronger. Twist. Should. Force. Her hands flew to the doorknob, holding it tight even though she knew it wouldn't matter if he really wanted in. The rattling suddenly stopped. Silence. Her pulse thundered in her ears. She didn't dare breathe. Footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Walking away. Down the hall. Then down the stairs. She waited. Every muscle in her body locked with fear. Was he gone? Was he waiting? Was this a trap? She listened, her ear pressed to the wood. Silence. Then a faint sound from downstairs. The front door opening. Then closing. Relief washed over her, brief, fragile. She needed to leave now. She unlocked the bedroom door slowly, painfully slowly, and cracked it open. The hallway was empty. She crept toward the stairs, each step a silent prayer. But halfway down the steps, her phone buzzed again. Her stomach dropped. A new message. Why did you come out? Her feet froze mid-step. She didn't want to look. She already knew. But she forced herself. The message included a photo. A photo taken from inside the house. From the bottom of the stairs. It showed her, right where she was standing, frozen halfway down the staircase. Her mouth fell open. Her pulse slammed through her skull. He wasn't gone. He was inside. Somewhere close. Somewhere watching. A new message appeared immediately. You're so easy to find. Sarah's scream finally tore free. She turned and fled back up the stairs, slipping, catching herself on the railing, sprinting toward any door she could lock behind her. But she didn't know one thing. He wasn't hunting her randomly. He knew exactly where she lived. He knew exactly who she was. And he had been watching her long before tonight. Instagram wasn't where this started. Sarah sprinted back up the stairs, her breaths sharp and jagged as panic clawed its way up her throat. The creaking wooden steps felt too loud, every sound echoing through the silent house like a signal to whoever was stalking her. Her mind raced. Where is he? How is he taking pictures? Why can't I hear him move? Where did my parents go? She reached the top of the stairs and darted down the hallway, grabbing the nearest door. Her trembling fingers fumbled with the knob before she slipped inside and slammed it shut behind her, her older brother's empty bedroom. She locked the door, then pressed her back against it, then slid to the floor. Her chest heaved as she tried to stay quiet, but every inhale felt like she was choking on her own heartbeat. The room around her was pitch black except for the faint glow of her phone. She swallowed hard and forced herself to look at her screen. 9 unread messages from your window friend. Her stomach twisted violently as she opened the thread. The first one was a text. You shouldn't have run. The next was a picture. Her breath stopped. It was the upstairs hallway, taken moments ago, right outside the door she had just locked herself behind. Her pulse exploded in her ears. The next photo was worse. It was her brother's bedroom door, taken from a low angle, taken from the floor, like someone had crouched down, right outside. Sarah slapped her hand over her mouth, holding in the sob threatening to tear out. Another message. You went into the wrong room. Her throat tightened. Her fingers went numb. What did that mean? Why the wrong room? What was he talking about? Another photo came through, and this one made her vision spin. It was taken inside the room. Her stomach lurched violently. It showed the bedroom corner behind her, the shadowed space beside the dresser. A space she believed was empty. But in the picture, a man's silhouette stood behind her. Head tilted. She dropped her phone, scrambling away from the corner like it had caught fire. She tripped over her brother's old backpack, hit the dresser, and stumbled in the dark as tears blurred everything around her. Her hands shook uncontrollably. Her breath came in sharp, uncontrollable bursts. She spun around, eyes darting to every shadow, every corner, every inch of darkness. Nothing. There was no one. But the picture had been taken seconds ago. Where was he standing to get that angle? Where was he now? Desperation pushed her toward the door. She pressed her ear against the wood. Silence. Nothing. Just the soft hum of the house. Maybe he left. Maybe he went downstairs. Maybe she could run. A loud crash from the hallway. It sounded like something heavy had been thrown against the wall. Then another. Then footsteps. Direct. Approaching the door. Sarah stumbled backward, her hands shaking so hard she could barely keep her balance. The footsteps grew louder, rapid, pounding, until they stopped directly outside the door. She covered her mouth, tears dripping down her chin. The doorknob turned sharply. Twice. The lock held. Silence. A single knock. So gentle. Like he was playfully reminding her he was in control. Sarah's entire body was shaking now. She crawled backward until her shoulders hit the far wall. Her phone buzzed again. A new message. You can't hide in there. Then another. I'm already inside. She choked on a gasp and spun around the room again, but she saw nothing. Just her brother's old trophies, a bookshelf, a gaming chair, boxes stacked in the corner. Another message came through. This time, not a picture. A video. She felt bile rise in her throat as she tapped it open. The video was shot in complete darkness. Just the sound of slow, heavy breathing. And then the camera moved. Shakily. Deliberately. It tilted upward and revealed a ceiling. Her ceiling. The ceiling of the room she was in. She dropped the phone again as a sob tore out of her chest. She stared upward at the actual ceiling. At first, she saw nothing. But then, barely visible, a thin line. A rectangular outline. The attic access panel. Someone was up there. Watching her. Her mind collapsed into panic. She backed away so fast she knocked over the desk lamp, the crash echoing through the room. She had to get out. She couldn't breathe. Every instinct screamed run. She unlocked the door and bolted into the hallway without thinking, her bare feet slipping against the wooden floor as she sprinted toward the stairs. But halfway down the hall, she froze. The basement door was open. Wide open. Her eyes widened in horror. That door was always closed. Boys. And from deep inside the basement, something moved. A soft dragging sound. Slow. Wet. Rhythmic. Not footsteps. Not human movement. A dragging. A pulling. Like someone was struggling to climb the stairs. Sarah's chest tightened so hard she could barely breathe. She took a step back toward her room when her phone buzzed again. A new message. She forced herself to look. Don't go down there. Her pulse spiked. Her knees nearly buckled. Another message followed. I'm not in the basement. Sarah felt the world tilt around her. But one more message. I'm behind you. She froze. Every hair on her body lifted. She didn't want to turn around. She didn't want to see. She didn't want to know. But she could feel it. A presence. Warm breath brushing the back of her neck. The faintest creak of floorboards. Right behind her. Her body locked in place. Her mind screamed run, but her legs refused to move. And then, a hand brushed her shoulder. The hand that touched her shoulder was cold. Not icy. Not supernatural. Just cold in the way someone's skin feels when they've been hiding somewhere dark for too long. Sarah didn't breathe. Couldn't breathe. Her eyes stayed locked on the basement door ahead of her while every nerve in her body screamed to run. But fear had rooted her to the floor. Another touch. This time, her shoulder squeezed. Just slightly. Her survival instinct finally snapped. Sarah lurched forward, tearing away from the hand and sprinting down the hallway. She didn't look back. She didn't need to. She could hear him. Fast footsteps. Right behind her. She reached her bedroom door, the closest room, and threw herself inside. She slammed the door shut and turned the lock, her hands trembling so violently she missed the knob twice. Her body slid to the floor as she tried to catch her breath. Her heart hammered so hard she thought it might stop. Silence. Too much silence. A single tap on the door. Not banging. Not trying to break it down. Just one tap. Like a reminder. I know you're in there. Sarah clamped a hand over her mouth again, tears blurring her sight. She couldn't think. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't even scream. Her phone vibrated. She reached for it with shaking fingers, expecting another message from the account. But it wasn't Instagram this time. It was a text message. From an unknown number. Her stomach tightened as she opened it. Come out. I just want to talk. Her breathing hitched. Not a bot. Not a hacker. Not some random creep online. Someone physically inside her house. Another text. Why are you running? I've been here for hours. Her chest tightened into a knot. Hours? Where had he been hiding? Then a third text came through. Your parents said it was okay. A chill stabbed through her spine. She typed back with shaking hands. Where are my parents? No response. The silence outside her door grew heavier, thicker, like the air itself was waiting. Seconds dragged by. Then a new message. I'm not stupid. I know you called the police. Sarah's blood ran cold. She hadn't. She hadn't even thought of it. She grabbed her phone so hard her knuckles turned white and dialed 911. But when she lifted the phone to her ear, no service. The signal bars were gone. She stared at the screen, horrified. She moved to the window, ripping the curtain aside and holding her phone up, trying to find a single bar of signal. Nothing. Not even emergency calls. Her phone buzzed again. A photo. She tapped it open. It was her backyard. Taken seconds ago. The faint glow of her bedroom window in the top corner. Someone was outside. Someone had cut her signal. Sarah stumbled back from the window, nearly falling over. Another message came through. I told you to come out. Another photo. This one shot through her bedroom window. From outside. Her heart stopped. She turned slowly, dread swallowing her whole. The window glass was dark, reflective, but now she could see it. A silhouette, standing outside, facing her window directly. Her trembling hands lifted to cover her mouth. The silhouette didn't move, didn't shift, didn't turn. Just stood there, watching her. A new message appeared. If you don't open the door, I'm coming in. Sarah's whole body shook with violent, uncontrollable terror. She backed against her bed, sliding to the floor. Seconds passed. Long, horrible seconds. A sound, not from outside, not from the hallway, from inside her room. A soft mechanical click. Her closet door. Unlocking. Sarah's entire world spun. She stared at the closet, the one she hadn't opened, the one she thought was empty. Very slowly, the door creaked open. A hand slipped out first. Dirty. Then an arm. A face. But not the masked, monstrous face she'd imagined. Something worse. A normal face. A real face. A human face. A man in his late 20s. Messy hair. Glasses. Sweat on his forehead. A stranger. Someone you might pass on the street without a second glance. He smiled. Not wide. Not cartoonish. Just softly. A genuine smile. Hey Sarah, he whispered, voice shaking with an excitement that made her stomach flip. Wow, you're even prettier in person. Sarah screamed, but the man lunged before the sound fully left her throat. His hand clamped over her mouth. His other arm wrapped around her waist as he dragged her toward the closet. She kicked. She clawed. She fought. But he was stronger. Much stronger. As he pulled her inside the dark closet, she managed one last desperate look at her phone lying on the floor. A new notification popped up. From Instagram. At your window friend posted a new story. The closet door slammed shut behind them, plunging the tiny space into suffocating darkness. Sarah's scream was smothered instantly by the man's hand. His grip was iron tight, his breath hot and uneven against her ear as he whispered, "Shoo, you're going to ruin everything." Her heart felt like it was going to burst out of her chest. Her limbs thrashed wildly against the cramped walls, but every movement only made him tighten his hold. He wasn't panicked. He wasn't scared. He was calm. Too calm. Like he'd done this before. Outside the closet, Sarah could hear the faint buzz of a notification. Her phone, still lying on the floor where she dropped it. Another buzz. And another. The man chuckled softly. "You're blowing up," he whispered. "Do you want to know why?" She whimpered through his hand, struggling to breathe. He leaned closer, his lips almost touching her ear. "I posted something." Her blood ran cold. Her Instagram. Her room. Her life. What had he posted? The man shifted, his movements tight inside the tiny closet. Sarah tried to elbow him, but he pinned her other arm with horrifying ease. "You know," he murmured, "it took me 3 months to figure out your sleep schedule." Sarah's body froze. He continued quietly, conversationally, like they were sitting in a cafe, not trapped together in a pitch-black closet. "You always turn off the lights around midnight," he whispered, "but you don't fall asleep until 1. Sometimes 2. Her stomach churned. He had been watching her. For months. He shifted again, adjusting his grip as if he was getting comfortable. Sarah could feel the weight of his arm around her ribs, the rhythm of his breathing. "Your parents leave early," he said. "Your dog sleeps downstairs. You scroll on your phone every night before you sleep." She squeezed her eyes shut, tears running down her cheeks. "How?" Her voice broke under his hand. "How do you know all of this?" He smiled. She could hear it in his tone. "Because I've been in your house before." Every muscle in her body locked. Not tonight." His voice was almost proud. "A few times. You never heard me." Sarah's lungs tightened like they were closing. Her mind ran in 1,000 terrified directions. How many nights? How close had he gotten? How long had he been inside her home without her knowing? He continued, "You talk in your sleep." A soft laugh. "You say the cutest things." Her stomach twisted violently. She wanted to vomit, to scream, to break out of the closet and run until her legs gave out. But she couldn't move. She couldn't do anything. The notifications outside the closet buzzed again. He tilted his head. People are finally seeing it. Seeing what? Seeing who? He loosened his grip just enough so she could breathe, but not enough to escape. You're trending, he whispered with a laugh. You should be proud. Most girls never get this kind of attention. Sarah's heart clenched. What did you post? He didn't answer. Instead, he slowly reached into his pocket and took out his phone. The tiny screen glow illuminated part of his face, sweaty, excited, eyes unblinking. He raised the phone just enough for her to see. Her Instagram story was open, and there, posted for all her followers and strangers to see. A video. A live recording of her. Sleeping. Soundless. Dimly lit. Shot through her window, zoomed in enough to see her breathing. The timestamp on the video said, posted 3 minutes ago. She gasped, shaking violently. No. Her voice cracked. Why would you? He cut her off. Because now they know you're mine. Sarah's breath hitched. A new notification appeared on his screen. 1,724 views. 146 new followers. Comments, 58. People were watching, sharing, speculating, unknowingly feeding the nightmare. He smirked and scrolled through the comments. Is this real? Who filmed this? Bro, WTF. This is creepy. Where is this girl? Someone help her. He laughed. People are so dramatic. Sarah trembled as he swiped back to her profile. Her account was exploding. He turned the screen toward her, his face inches from hers. You're going viral, he whispered. You should thank me. She couldn't react. Couldn't think. Couldn't breathe. Crash. A loud bang came from somewhere in the house. The man's head jerked toward the noise. Another crash. Closer. His grip tightened around her waist. But then, a voice. A real voice. Police. If anyone is in the house, identify yourself now. Sarah's entire body flooded with relief so intense she nearly sobbed. They were here. They had arrived. But the man's reaction was instant. He clamped his hand over her mouth again and whispered, trembling, "Don't make a sound." Another shout echoed through the house. "We're coming upstairs." Footsteps. Heavy, purposeful, getting closer. The man's breath turned sharp and frantic. His calmness cracked. Finally, he wasn't in control anymore. He wasn't ready for this. He wasn't expecting the police so soon. He wasn't expecting to lose. He reached for something in his jacket. Something metallic. Something that made Sarah's heart stop. He pressed it against her side. A knife. "You're not leaving me," he whispered, voice breaking. "You're not leaving." The closet walls felt like they were closing in. The police footsteps grew louder. Close. So close. The man's grip tightened, the knife trembling against her ribs. "Closest door." A police voice shouted from the hallway. The man sucked in a breath. Sarah squeezed her eyes shut. A hand grabbed the closet door handle. The world held still. And then, the closet door exploded open so violently that the entire wall shook. A blinding beam of a tactical flashlight cut through the darkness like a blade. "Hands where we can see them. Drop the weapon." The man jerked backward, pulling Sarah with him as a shield. The knife pressed so hard against her ribs she felt it break skin. "Don't move," he screamed, voice cracking with panic. "She's mine. You move, I swear I'll..." He didn't finish the sentence. Sarah could barely see anything through the tears streaming down her face. The officers filled the doorway, shadows, armor, bright lights. One wrong move and she'd feel cold steel pierce her lungs. Her breath hitched. The knife trembled in his hand. "Let her go," one officer said, voice steady but razor sharp. "Nobody wants to hurt you, but you need to release her. Now." The man shook his head violently. "You don't understand," he whispered, his voice unhinged. "She loves this. She posts everything. She wanted me. She did not want this," the officer snapped. "She did not give you permission." Another officer slowly stepped forward, hands calm but ready. "Put the knife down," he repeated. "You're not getting out of here with her." The man's breathing quickened. "I'm not going to prison," he hissed. "I'm not." Sarah felt his grip loosen for half a second as he shifted the knife. It was tiny, barely a moment, but it was enough. Sarah drove her elbow backward hard, catching him in the ribs. He grunted. His grip faltered. "Now," an officer shouted. Everything happened at once. 2 officers lunged forward. A deafening taser crack split the air. The man's body jerked violently as the electricity hit him. The knife dropped. Sarah fell to her knees, gasping, clutching her ribs as hands grabbed her shoulders and pulled her safely away. "You're safe. You're safe. You're safe," a voice repeated beside her. Her vision blurred. Her ears rang. Her whole body shook uncontrollably. The man collapsed on the floor, screaming unintelligibly as officers pinned him down, cuffing him with swift, brutal precision. His phone slid across the closet floor, the screen still glowing with her Instagram story. Still gaining views. Still spreading. Still viral. Sarah stared at it. It felt surreal, like she was watching someone else's nightmare. But this nightmare was hers. The officers moved her to the hallway, wrapping a blanket around her. Her room was flooded with police, EMTs, flashing lights, and the heavy smell of sweat and fear. A female EMT knelt beside her. "Sweetheart, can you hear me?" Sarah nodded weakly. "You're bleeding," the EMT said gently, checking her side. "Not deep. You're going to be okay." Sarah didn't answer. Her eyes drifted toward the closet, where they were dragging the man out. He wasn't calm anymore. He wasn't composed or calculating. He was thrashing, spitting, screaming at her. "You made me do this. You lied to me. You're mine. I know you're mine." His voice cracked into something almost animalistic. Sarah buried her face in her hands. The officer escorting him looked at her with deep sympathy. "He won't hurt you again," he said. "I promise." But Sarah didn't feel safe. Not yet. Not with the videos still online. Not with the story being shared. Not with thousands of strangers knowing she had been filmed while sleeping. She whispered, barely audible, "My Instagram, take it down. Please." The officer nodded and passed the phone to a detective. "We'll handle it." Sarah exhaled shakily. For the first time in hours, she felt a sliver of relief. Later, as she sat in the ambulance, wrapped in a blanket, her parents crying beside her, a detective approached. "We finished searching the house," he said carefully. Sarah looked up, her breath catching. "There's something you need to see." He showed her a small black notebook, worn, dirty, edges frayed. The detective opened it, page after page, full of photographs of her sleeping, walking home from school, at the grocery store, through her bedroom window, even inside her house. She didn't remember breathing for a few seconds. "He's been following you for a long time," the detective said quietly. "Maybe over a year." Her heart dropped. A year. A year of being watched without knowing. A year of living with danger inside her walls. A year of being someone's obsession. Sarah's voice trembled. How long? How long was he inside my house?" The detective flipped to the last pages. For this, the handwriting, the drawings, her bedroom, her living room, the inside of her closet, notes beside each entry. "She's alone tonight. Parents leaving early tomorrow. She talks in her sleep again. Going inside." Sarah felt her entire body go cold. Her voice cracked. "Will I ever be safe?" The detective hesitated, just for a moment. Then he said, "Yes. He's gone for a long time." But Sarah saw the fear in his eyes. That night, she lay in a hospital bed, staring at the ceiling. Every sound made her flinch. Every shadow felt wrong. Every notification buzz made her stomach drop. Her phone sat on the side table, the battery drained. The police had removed her posts, locked her account, and documented everything. But the views were still in her history. Thousands. And even worse, before her phone died, one final notification had appeared. New account mentioned you in a story. The username was unfamiliar, a random string of letters and numbers. She didn't open it, but she saw the preview. I know where you live. Her breath froze. And the notification beneath it? One view. Whoever sent it had deleted the story instantly. Just long enough for Sarah to see it. Long enough to remind her. There's always more than one watcher. Sarah thought the nightmare was over. The man who had broken into her home had been arrested, her Instagram account secured, and the police had removed every trace of the horrifying story. But safety, she realized, was an illusion. It started with a single notification. Her phone vibrated in the middle of the night. She froze, her chest tightening. The screen glowed faintly through the darkness. A new Instagram account. At Watcher_329. No profile picture. No posts. Just a single story. She tapped it cautiously. It was a short clip. Her house. Taken from the street. Night vision. She swallowed hard, her hands shaking so violently she almost dropped the phone. Then another story. A close-up of her front door handle. Polished, shiny, with the reflection of a streetlight. Timestamp, 5 minutes ago. Her stomach dropped. Someone was outside. Her pulse skyrocketed. The police had warned her that obsessive followers could emerge, that viral exposure was dangerous. But she never expected this. She called 911 immediately. But this time, there was no immediate help. It was 2 a.m. and her area was swamped with calls. She locked every door, drew the curtains, and hid in her bedroom, clutching her phone like a lifeline. A new story appeared. This one was different. The caption read, "I know what happened in the closet. I saw everything." Sarah felt bile rise in her throat. Then the camera shifted. She didn't have to look closely to recognize the angle. It was inside her house. Inside her bedroom. Her curtains were drawn. The doors locked. No one could have been inside. And yet, someone was filming. Her phone buzzed again. A message this time. "I'm closer than you think. Don't sleep. Don't look away." She dropped the phone, heart hammering. The rational part of her screamed, "Cameras in the house? Impossible." But the fear was real. She called her parents. No answer. She called a friend. No answer. She tried to calm herself, telling herself it was a prank. Someone obsessed with the first man. Someone trying to scare her. But deep down, she knew better. The stories kept coming, each one showing more of her house, her street, angles no stranger should know. Someone was following her, watching her, learning, waiting. Sarah couldn't sleep. She didn't leave her room. She didn't look at the windows. She barely breathed. Days passed. Police were investigating but had little to go on. The account appeared and disappeared, posting and disappearing before anyone could track it. Sarah installed cameras, locks, motion sensors, security signs in the yard, but none of it stopped the new threat. It escalated. One night, she woke to the sound of the front gate clicking. Someone was entering. Her phone buzzed. A story from @Watcher_329, filmed from inside her own hallway. She didn't want to move. She couldn't. She was frozen in terror. Then she heard the faintest sound. A knock on her bedroom door. Slow, measured, deliberate. The police were on their way. But even as she listened to the distant sirens, she realized something terrifying. This wasn't over. And it might never be. The sirens grew louder, but so did her dread. Her phone buzzed again. Another story from @Watcher_329. This one was live. Her own bedroom. Her own bed. Her sheets ruffled as if she had just moved. The live timer ticked upward. People were watching. Thousands. Her pulse thundered in her ears. Every instinct screamed run, but there was nowhere to go. Then she heard it, a soft click from the bedroom door. Not a knock. Not a tap. A click. The sound of a lock being turned. Her stomach dropped. The police were moments away. They would arrive eventually. But in these seconds, she was utterly alone. The door handle moved. Slowly, carefully. Sarah grabbed her phone, her only lifeline. She whispered into it, "I'm here. Don't move. Police are on the way." Nothing. The door creaked open. A shadow slipped inside. Her breath caught in her throat. A man's figure stood in the doorway. Familiar movements. The same calculated, quiet terror from the first man. Only this one was new. Her hands shook uncontrollably. She raised her phone toward him, the flashlight casting long, harsh shadows across the room. "Stop!" she yelled. Her voice cracked. "You're on camera. I have police outside. Get out." He smiled. Softly, like he knew none of it mattered. "You can't see me in the dark," he whispered, taking a deliberate step forward. She stumbled backward, hitting her dresser. The man advanced, slow and methodical. Then, a second shadow appeared. From the doorway, a uniformed officer, gun drawn, flashlight in the other hand. "Drop it now," the officer shouted. The man froze. His calm composure faltered. He glanced at Sarah, then back at the officer. The next few seconds felt like hours. Another officer entered from the hallway. Backup had arrived. The man's face twisted into frustration, panic, and rage. "You don't understand," he screamed. "She's mine." "On the ground. Now," an officer barked. He hesitated just long enough, then lunged. Sarah's heart stopped. But the officers were faster. Tasers sparked. Hands grabbed him. He struggled violently but was restrained, cuffed, and led out of her room. Sarah sank to the floor, shaking, crying, gasping for air. The adrenaline crash left her feeling numb, empty, terrified. Outside, she could hear the flashing lights of police cars and news crews. The new stalker was in custody, but the digital traces remained. Instagram, the live stories, the comments, the followers. Her life would never be the same. Even with the police's intervention, she felt watched. Every shadow in her house, every notification on her phone, every stranger on the street felt like a threat. That night, wrapped in a blanket on her bedroom floor, Sarah whispered to herself, "I survived, but I can't ever feel safe again." The phone buzzed one last time. A notification. From a random account. No profile picture. No posts. Just a story preview. "I'll be watching." Her breath caught. Her eyes widened. She didn't open it. She didn't want to. But she knew the truth. The nightmare was far from over. If you enjoyed this terrifying true story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any of our creepy, real-life horror encounters. Share your own experiences in the comments. Have you ever felt watched, followed, or haunted in real life? And don't forget to turn on the notification bell. You never know when the next true horror story will strike.